A very good afternoon to all the participants. I'm happy to welcome you all to the 8th day of the online course on human rights education for women. I feel extremely delighted to see many of you coming again and again. It shows your keenness in the listening the subject. Today, we are going to have a very sensitive discussion on very important topic, that is transgender rights. This rights has been emerging in the new arena in the recent history. Though transgender is as old as human beings, even in our epics we can find transgenders. So transgenders have been there in the history of human beings. But it is the recent history which sees the importance of realizing transgender rights. They have been recognized as a third gender, and their rights are also respected. And recently we have a separate act, private bill, and most of the Western countries recognize them as separate entity and give them almost equal rights to all the like other citizens in that country. So very important, relevant topic in this afternoon. Today we have two resource persons. The first session is going to be addressed by Dr. Malaravan from Assistant Professor, Government Law College, Salem. And second session, after the first session is over, once you re-log in again, we'll have another session. During that session, we are going to have Dr. C. Subramaniam, the professor and head, Department of Political Science and Public Administration, Annamalai University, and the organizer of this training course. And sir is a researcher as well as an activist. So these two sessions, I hope is going to be very useful to all the participants. Now I request and I invite Dr. Malaravan, Assistant Professor, Government Law College, Salem, to talk on human rights of transgender. It's over to Malaravan. Malaravan, you proceed. Thank you.
Good afternoon to all our present. So for past 7 days, we have been taught about human rights education for women, and today we are going to see about human rights for transgender, particularly with reference to transgender community. So basically, everyone have an idea about what is meant by human rights, and with respect to women, we have basic understanding. Now let me get into human rights in transgender perspective. So I welcome you all. Human rights of transgenders. So let me give you some small introduction about what is meant by human rights. Human rights are very basic rights and freedoms that belongs to every person in the world from birth until death. It's a type of a natural rights that every individual possesses who born in the earth. These apply regardless to where you are from, where you believe, or how you choose to live your life. So especially United Nations Human Rights Council gave a proper definition to human rights. These are rights inherent to all human beings, whatever our nationality, place of residence, sex, gender, national or ethnic origin, color, religion, language, or any other status. We people are equally entitled to our human rights without any discrimination. These rights are all interrelated and interdependent and indivisible. Basically, the 19th century and the 20th century is where they are era of rights, revolutions, and especially every revolution in the 19th century to 20th century took place in whether in a political form or in economic aspects or in a religious aspects, any other type of renaissance. All those type of revolutions ignore particularly one marginalized community, they were transgender. Not only in India, throughout the world, but right now in the 20th century, 21st century, the situation has been changing. So this topic regarding human rights for transgender is gaining a momentum and a due attention right now. So it is very appropriate to know the right definition for transgender. Who are those transgender? Because the transgender, the term is a very umbrella term and used to identify many peoples. I mean, many version of transsexual peoples. So let us see first what is meant by transgender. Transgender meaning. The term transgender is derived from the Latin word trans and the English word gender. Trans means someone whose gender differs from the one way they were given when they are born. You know, when a child is born, the doctor immediately declared it is a boy or girl based on its biological features. So, transgender people may be identified as male or female from their birth, but the gender refers to socially constructed roles, behaviors, activities, and attributes that a given society consider which are appropriate for men and women. So, transgender people, they grow up identifying and want to express as members of other gender. For example, if a child is born as a boy or girl, biologically they born as a boy or girl, but later in stage of life they identify themselves as another gender. So they grew themselves as identified and want to express as members of other gender. So this defines them as a transgender. So trans woman refers assigned male at birth but identified as a female, identifying as a female by themselves, and trans men who assigned as a female at birth but they themselves identifying as a male. So it is very important to know the distinction between a sex and gender. You know, the psychiatrist John F. Olivan of Columbia University has first coined the term transgender in his reference work Sexual Hygiene and Pathology, because before 1965 the term was used as a transsexualism, which was very misleading, because while mentioning the particular person as a transgender, sexuality is not a major factor. It reflects the gender which they believe they want to adopt. So the distinction between a sex and gender differentiates a person's biological sex and their social roles based on the sex of the person, or the personal identification of one's own gender based on internal awareness. So in some circumstance, an individual assigned sex and gender do not align, so then the person may be a transgender. World Health Organization gives a definition for the gender. It is a socially constructed roles, behavior, activities, and attributes that a given society consider appropriate for men and women. For example, if biologically if a child is born as a boy or girl, every people in the society expects them to behave like a boy or a girl. But it was the right of the child to adopt its gender, because due to its biological transformation, because there are various theories on transgenders, it was the birthright of the child to adopt its gender. So whether it's a masculine or feminine, any gender category, it was the individual's rights. So that is why we are saying transgender people. So they were aligned a particular sex at their birth, but they transform to particular gender when they grown up. Transgenders in India, actually in Indian subcontinent, mainly the people are called as Hijras. Sometimes they were called as Enunch, intersex people and transgender people. In Tamil, they used to call us Aravanis. And there are some derogative words they are also used to coin them by the public. In general, Nepali, Mexican, the hijra is a word, it's a Persian word derived from hist, which denotes effeminate, a disdained woman. And a third are no place. In Hindi, hijra is known to be a chaka, which is a very abusive word, a derogative word. So basically in India, the older name for hijras were they called themselves as a kinar, which refers as in Hindu mythology, there are a particular community of people who excels at songs and dance. So personally, the Hijras, they refer themselves to be called as a Hinar. So now, right now, Hijras are officially recognized as third genders in countries in Indian subcontinents, which they are considered as neither a complete male or complete female. According to 2011 census, the total population of transgender community is around 4.88 lakhs, and the transgender is an umbrella term used to represent in India cross-dressers, intersex peoples, and Hijras. These communities date back more than 4,000 years, and even in ancient texts in Puranas, we have seen the role of the transgenders, like in Mahabharata, Arjuna has been portrayed the role of a transgender for a period of 1 year, and Shikanti, the role of Shikanti, and even in right now in ancient and medieval history, you can see there are many transgender persons who had take part in military activities, like Malik Kafur, who was described as an eunuch, who was the trusted lieutenant of Alauddin Khilji. So the transgender community has been dated for 4,000 years, and they have been actively taken part in various roles. In contemporary usage, the transgender is an umbrella term to describe any gender people or any identity who differs from their birth sex. In India, a proper definition for transgender was given from the Transgender Protection Bill 2016. It means a person who is neither wholly female or wholly male, or a combination of female or male, or neither male or female, and whose sense of gender does not match with his gender assigned to that person at the time of birth, and includes trans men and trans women, persons with intersex variations, and gender queers. So all those people, trans men, trans women, intersex persons, they are all termed as a transgender. They grouped under a single umbrella as a transgender. Now it is very important to see the lifestyles and problems of the transgender peoples. Basically, transgender peoples, once they were born as a boy or girl, a particular period of time, they identify themselves in their behavior. Usually, the close circles, family persons or friends, they identify them, and they try to correct the mistakes, and they mistakenly treat them as a pre-homosexuals. So mostly family members, friends were aggressive towards them, and they will be given very strict warnings so that they can change their behavior. For example, a boy who tends to have a girl tendency, or a girl who have a boy tendency, they were strictly warned, and sometimes beatings were taken by them. Mostly they were not encouraged to live among the family circles. So imagine at that time a boy who's in a teenage, or a girl who's in teenage, where she completely feels herself or himself as another gender, and try to adopt the gender. He or she was not supported by the family members, even their loved ones reject them, and there is a stigma. So mostly in schools or in any public places, they will be abused, and they are not allowed to live among their own family members or with their relatives or neighbors. So mostly they will live the own residential places, and they identify other transgender people, and they establish their own colonies outside their regular communities. Imagine, they don't have any official documents or any support from their family members or any from their friends. They don't have any money to live their life on their own, because still mostly transgender people who identify themselves as another gender will identify around the age of 14 or 12 or 15, 16. At the time, they were completely helpless, and they were cornered. They don't have they are not able to look after themselves, and they don't have any employment opportunity. So at this moment, without any money, without a place to live, without any hope, they will be stranded in the road. And at the time, these people will be abused by the general public. both sexually harassed. So eventually, this will give a very bad experiences and a very bad opinion about the society. That is why you can see there are some peoples who still have a severe critics on the transgender people because of their obscene acts in public. Sometimes they were rude to the common people, but it was the society which make themselves and these transgender people were the victims of the society. The main problems faced with the transgenders were discrimination because there is no equality in public. Mostly, no one is ready to accept whom they are. They were discriminated in all walks of life, like rejection of entry in public places like theaters or shopping malls, or even in hospitals, restaurants, or any other social institutions, even in park, any other places. They were restricted. They are not able to use the public toilet, and no access to bathrooms, and lack of educational facilities. The main problem the transgender people have is they don't have any proper identity issued by a government or a state. So they can't able to even replace their right to education, even it's a fundamental right. They can't able to replace their right. They don't have education. Since completely abandoned by family without hope, they were unemployed, homelessness, which eventually leads to them very depressions. Mostly you can see people use the abusive terms to call them in a public, and mostly in a public gathering, if any transgender people is there, you can see an unwanted attention is given to their presence, and they generally people won't behave to them or act normal in the presence. Many of them were abused and raped orally and physically. This leads to for a livelihood, many transgender people enter into prostitutions, or sometimes they were sexually harassed. So many of the transgender people, some transgender people who are infected with the HIVs or any other sexual transmitted diseases, they can't able to access the medical facilities, and hormone pill abuses and pinectomy, which is a surgical procedure to remove their part, tobacco, alcohol uses, abuses, problems related to marriages, inheritance of property, adoption of child, because even the family members abandoned them, they can still claim their property, but without any due documents or any evidence, they can't able to inherit the property, they can't get into married, they can't even adopt a child, even if they are having a very good job, a decent lifestyles, whether they can able to take care of themselves, they can't able to adopt a child. And mostly transgender people are associated with child napping in public, and for sexual trafficking, and associated with the prostitutions. So collectively in a society, transgender people face a lot of problems because they don't want to get into these issues, but it was the social rejection which compelled them to get into some few transgender get into some immoral activities, which collectively describes the whole transgender communities. So what are the rights the transgender communities can have? You know, in India, the preamble of the Constitution mandates social justice, economic and political equality of status. Article 14 states right to equality. Article 15 speaks about the prohibition of discrimination on the ground of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. Article 21 ensures right to privacy, personal dignity. 23 prohibits trafficking in human beings as beggars and other forms of forced labors. So Indian Constitution have given such provisions and provided a fundamental rights and to its citizens. But the problem is, if you want to assess your fundamental rights, then you have to be a citizen of India. To be a citizen of India, it is a mandatory to have a government documents, identity papers. If you want to have an identity paper, then there should be a provision to accept you as a identity. Basically, the main problem faced by transgenders for getting government identity papers is their sex. Mostly in each and every application form, there is only 2 columns given for male or female, assigned column for to denote sex. The Constitution guarantees political rights and other benefits to every citizen, but the third community, transgender, continues to be excluded from the society. If you want to, enjoy the privilege granted by the Constitution, if you want to enjoy the rights granted by the Constitution, then you have to be a male or have to be a female. Then only you can able to access all those rights guaranteed by the Constitution. There is no provision for the transgender or third gender people to access these rights. The official identity papers provide civil personhood among the instruments by which the Indian states defines civil personhood. Sexual gender identity is a crucial and unavoidable category. If you want to apply for any other for a driving licenses or a passport or any, if you want to enroll in an educational institution or you are looking for an employment, the main thing you have to give, the main data you have to give is your gender. So the gender identity is a very crucial and unavoidable category. Identification on the basis of sex within a male and female is a crucial component of civil identity as required by the Indian state. Right now, there is only 2 sexes, male and female are included, and refuse to recognize Hijras as woman or as a third sex. Even if a Hijra wants, so they were deprived them at a stroke of several rights that Indian citizens take granted for it, because we people are enjoying, myself or you, are all enjoying our fundamental rights. But they can't able to access because they were denied of their gender identity. So due to lack of these official papers, see, they were denied these rights: right to vote, right to own property, right to marry, right to claim a formal identity, a passport and a ration card, a driver license, so right to education, right to employment, health, so on. Such deprivations secludes Hijras from the very fabric of Indian civil society. So mostly these marginalized community isolate themselves from the mainstream community, and further it leads them to lead a very downtrodden life. So these problems addressed by the transgender community was led by the many activists, and at last a landmark decision was given by Supreme Court. It was a National Legal Service Authority (NLCA) versus Union of India on April 15, 2013, which declared transgender people to be a third gender and affirmed that the fundamental rights guaranteed in the Constitution of India will be equal, applicable to the transgender people, and gave the right to self-identification of their gender as male or female or transgender. It was the landmark decision of the Supreme Court which gives the privilege for the transgender people. They can identify themselves as a male or as a female gender or as a third gender. So after 2014, you can see all the application forms in whether online or offline application forms. You can see a separate column is given in the sex, male, female, and the third gender. It was a major step towards the gender equality in India. Now, because of this judgment, now transgender people will be recognized on official documents under a separate third gender category. And also the court held that transgender people are treated as a socially and very economically backward, and they were very marginalized communities. They are granted reservation under OBC category in admission to education institution and government employment and also. And also the very important aspect of this judgment is the sexual orientation of a particular person to be protected. It was the individual right to choose their gender. Naturally, they may be born as a boy or a girl, but it was their individual right and their perspectives to incline towards particular gender. So the decision to create a third gender and recognize it officially would also benefit other sexual minorities such as lesbians, gay, homosexuals, and bisexuals. It also clarifies that not only gender identity but the sexual orientation of individuals will also be protected. So this judgment, it is a landmark judgment, proves that any individual who assigned as a boy or girl at birth can choose their gender of their own orientation, and this should not be stopped, so that Supreme Court order clearly clarifies that the gender, not only it's aim was to protect gender identity, but also the sexual orientation of the individuals also to be protected. So this leads to basically the transgender people have to adopt a undergo a sex reassignment surgery if you want to claim themselves as a male or if they want to claim themselves as a female. Particularly the trans women people, they have to undergo a sex assignment surgery, sex reassignment surgery in order to prove themselves as a male. But with this order, then one doesn't have to undergo a sex reassignment surgery to prove his or her gender. They can assign themselves as a female or male or as a third gender. So regarding this, the government of Tamil Nadu is pioneering in implementing several progressive and social welfare health program for transgender communities and conducts free sex reassignment surgery in the hospital. It was the government of Tamil Nadu who first created a transgender welfare board leading by the transgender community itself. So third gender rights. Now we see the gender rights and welfare measure taken by Tamil Nadu government. The Tamil Nadu government in India was the first state to introduce a transgender welfare policy. According to the policy, free sex reassignment surgery (SRS) in government hospital was provided, and a housing program and through various self-help groups, employment opportunities were given, and various citizenship documents were provided, and admission to government colleges with full scholarship for transgender people were provided for school education, for higher studies. Alternate source of livelihood, income generation programs through self-help groups or women help groups, and through some collective partnership with NGOs. Many welfare measures have been taken by the government of Tamil Nadu. Through income generation program, their livelihood was guaranteed, so that the transgender people can't able to involve into prostitution or in some street dancing for their livelihood. And it was the first state to form a transgender welfare board with representatives from the transgender community. And Tamil Nadu government gave voting rights to third sex in 1994, based, and their census was counted for first time in 2000. Since the new beginning of the transgender entire community can be seen after the landmark judgment from the Supreme Court, many transgender people they got their educations and employment opportunity. It was K. Pritika Yashini, the first transgender woman to be a police officer in India. She became the first trans sub-inspector of police in Tamil Nadu, and several other persons like Jodhya Mondal, who became the first transgender judge at the Lok Adalat from West Bengal in 2017, and Nagpur's Vidya Kamble becomes first transgender member judge at Maharashtra Lok Adalat, and Swati Bidhan Barua becomes the first transgender judge in Assam and third transgender judge in India. So, based on this, collectively, one minute. It was the Supreme Court judgment on 2014, which this landmark decision paved the way for the transgender community to assess their educations, to assess their basic rights, which eventually led to the, you see, the many transgender people got a government employment, and even they got into uniformed services in a police force, and 3 of them were put into judicial services. They become a judges. So right now, the urgent need of the situation is a proper legislation and a proper laws for the transgender community so that their privileges and rights should not be infringed, and they should be given a access, complete access to all those things in all social walks of life, like both men and women in this society is assessing, and all those scholarly works, research works by those institutions. The main purpose of this, all those scholarly works, is to do justice to the transgender community, because particularly in India, social aspect, in economically, socially, politically marginalized section of people were given rights and a reservation benefit system, and eventually they have protected by various laws. But only it was the transgender people, they were completely ignored by the, not only by the public, by the state collectively, and it was the responsible of the, not only the state but collectively the society, to treat equally as men or women, equal to us, and give an equal opportunity to in every walks of life, in social, political, economical aspects. And many NGOs are working for the welfare and upliftment of the transgender community, but the legislation of the Transgender Community Act, which paves good way for the upliftment. And there are many of them persons, but eventually I had just shown these 4 people.
There are last 1 more minute for Madhavan for you.
Okay, sir. And there, the question arises is, what are the steps which have to taken to improve the lives of the transgender people? Right now, the Act gives some opportunities to the transgender people to get into education or to employment, but their mental health were ignored. Their lifestyle problems are completely ignored by the government and as well as the other peoples. So it is very important to
excuse me, Madhavan, the session is going to end with less than 30 seconds. So no problem. We will resume the session after 2 minutes. So once the session resumes, you can continue and conclude the session in the when we come back again in the relogin.
So we had seen the impact of the landmark judgment from National Legal Service Authority versus Union of India. Now the way forward is, there are several legislation measures taken to improve the upliftment of the transgender communities, but the upliftment, the road to upliftment for the transgender community is still under the construction. Taking a cue from our Western counterparts like UK, France, and Germany, we must harmonize our laws to reflect the unity in diversity that we celebrate. The cultural and religious norms must not hurdle in empowering these minorities. And I hope the NLSA and Ram Singh judgments and the expert committee report on transgenders must serve as the guiding light in realizing the true meaning of the inclusive growth.
Okay,
sir. Sir, okay.
Okay, Madhavan.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, Madhavan, for your wonderful lecture on transgender rights. Dear participants, we'll have a discussion after the second session, because second session we have another resource person. He is none other than our professor and head Department of Political Science, Dr. C. Subramaniam. He has been an activist come academician. So Subramaniam sir has done enormous research on transgender rights, and very often we come to know what kind of rights transgenders have. So most of academicians, even researchers, academicians, educators like us also ignorant of their rights. What kind of feeling we have on transgenders. So these things are still unknown to many of us because of our ignorance to them. So SAR has done research on transgender rights. He has completed successfully projects sponsored by UGC and ICSSR. Moreover, SAR has conducted international, national seminars and workshops on transgender rights. So now it is over to Dr. C. Subramanian, sir. Now you can view this lecture. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Balamurugan, sir, for your nice words. Here,
Wait. Yes.
Thank you for Dr. Balamurugan, sir, for your nice words. Actually, Dr. Malaravan, sir, has discussed elaborately about the concept of transgender and all other rights, constitutional provisions, and all other rest of the rights. So now, as based on my experience through the various projects and other seminars, workshops conducted, I want to share certain basic information about the transgender for the participants. Actually, the changing trends has been started for the transgender community from 2014 onwards. Actually, before 2014, there is no legal mechanism to safeguard the transgender rights. The first time, the Apex Court of India, the Supreme Court of India, come with a famous and historical judgment for the transgender community. So in that, that judgment become a landmark one. So here, what are the very important aspects in the sense, free sexual reassignment surgery, that means SRS. That SRS has been permitted, free housing program, public job, educational admissions with scholarship, everything provided by the judgment, and also certain if any ill treatment for the transgender community, that will be become a punishable offense with 2 years of imprisonment. So these things are happened, and actually before this judgment, our Annamalai University has the introducing certain important measures for the transgender community. First time we introduced the third sex column in the students admission application in 2013-14 academic year onwards. Right. So at the time, this our Annamalai University is controlled by government, Tamil Nadu government. Dr. Sivadas Meena is headed the institution, and he announced this famous thing in our international conference, that is trans wellness and well-being. So this is a landmark. Things happened in 2014 in Annamalai University. Now I will discuss something about the transgender activists in Tamil Nadu as well as in the Indian level. The first of all, Rose Venkatesan Rani, you know very well. You all know very well. So she is activist in TV channels, Ippadiki Rose. So actually, she has completed a MS degree in USA, and she changed her feelings to change their sex in only after 18th year. So then automatically she want to change her sex into male. Then Priya Babu, she is active life in transgender rights, and she wrote so many books regard to transgender rights, and he is doing so many awareness camps also for the transgender community. And Bharati Kannamma is a famous name, and she is regularly contesting in the parliamentary elections. We know, even though the constitution providing so many things, so many rights, fundamental rights, Even the preamble also saying about the justice, that is economic, political, social rights, but all the rights are denied for the transgender community. So because of all these activists like Bharati, Kannamma, Kalgi, and then Gunavadi, Salima, Sheetal in Kadalur, Lakshmi Narayan Tirupati at Mumbai, then Sarmila. They are actively doing many things for the welfare of the transgenders. So here in the Indian level, the first police woman, police officer, that is Pritika Yasini. So she become the first police officer, and then Modis Isat Alam, famous video editor, Vatmuni Prakash, Lotus TV channel at Coimbatore, Mokabi Patacharya, the first PhD scholar, Lakshmi Narayan Tirupati, I already told you, she represented Indo-Asia Pacific region at UN, and Bal Bard, she is also the sports activist. Then Jodhira Mantal, so she is also the activist and first judge, transgender judge. And what are the major changes happened during that 2014? So that is the famous judgment I already told you. The third sex, that is the transgender sex, has been officially recognized by the Supreme Court. Transgenders got the third sex status through the judgment, and fundamental rights will be equally applicable to the transgender rights. This is also the declaration by the Supreme Court. And SRS, like sexual reassignment surgery, is illegal as declared by Supreme Court, and just psychological test is enough to decide the third gender. So these are major landmark judgment, and civil and criminal status are also all discriminatory one for the transgender, because in civil and criminal cases, I want to check that IPC one section is called 377. That section prohibits the homosex, transsexual, like that. So this court judgment declares that that section has been illegal one, and facility to give treatment in the government hospitals for the transgender also ensured by the Supreme Court judgment, that recent judgment. Okay. Then we will discuss something about the another judgment, that is I already told you Article 3 about the IPC 377 that allows the guy sex, and it's declared as not a crime. Then some parliamentary acts. Tiruchi Siva from Dravida Munnetra Kalagam in Tamil Nadu, he moved a famous what we call private member bill. In Parliament, we know it's very difficult to pass the private member bill, but Tiruchi Siva moved that bill in 2015 and passed on behalf of the transgender community, and she is always so sympathetic towards the transgender community. So what are the highlights that of article that act? That is number one, the clear-cut definition for transgender has been given, and transgender certificates must be issued by the district magistrate. Before that, there is no such provision, and they are unable to get whatever their legal rights, even though it's entitled as a fundamental right or some other legal rights, but they are unable to get it because of this certificate issue. And now the act permitting that the district magistrates would give the this kind of certificates, and it provides education, healthcare, and various welfare schemes. And if any abusement, physical or mental abusement or sexual abusement, then immediately that the act provides gives 2-year imprisonment. That is another major thing. And in 2019, again the government introduced another bill. So this bill actually, in order to check the private member bill, that is Tiruchi Siva introduced in introduced and passed in 2016. This bill also provides the same type, but some certain dilution from the 2016. So this act also gives very good definition, because the definition is most important one to provide the welfare schemes, whatever the welfare schemes, economic or social, that should be given to all the transgender community without any deviation or without any discrimination. So here, this act, that's the 2019 act, prohibits all type of discriminations, equal right in education, employment, healthcare, access to employment of goods, right to hold public and private office, right to movement, right to reside, and right to residence, everything. And certificate of identity also ensured. Various welfare measures also allowed as per the 2019 Act. Punishment, any whatever the abusement, sexual or physical, this Act also ensures the punishment from 6 months to 2 years to whatever the cases. And one very important thing we know very well, for minority, there is a commission for minorities, commission for backward classes, as like the National Council of Transgender Persons, that is NCT, has been constituted to address the various issues of the transgender community. So that is a major development happened in 2019. And whatever the issues, whatever the things, there are certain major issues among the transgender communities. We know very well the Act permits, even the Constitution permits all the rights to all the citizens. Even though I am also conducted so many training programs for them, and even the training, what we call the vocational training programs also, but these people are not at all enjoying that kind of privileges and whatever the social welfare schemes, economic measures like that, because they have to change their mindset. That is the first thing. And always they want to go again and again for begging and as well as the prostitution. That is the major thing that happened there. And next one, there is a Jamaat. This Jamaat is controlling entire activities of the transgender community in India. So you know very well, already Malaravan discussed about that. These transgender people are they're not at all respected by their own family, so that they are approaching this Jamaat for their recognition. Then automatically this Jamaat is misusing and exploiting them through begging and involving them in prostitution. That is a major thing. So the Jamaat activities should be controlled and regulated. And the last one, the transgender activists. So they have to work really for the betterment of the transgenders. That is another important thing. So whatever the rights given by the government or whatever the welfare schemes given by the government, that should be accepted by the transgender community. So the acceptance is the major problem among the people. So that nowadays various schemes are what they are doing, combined project. That is we are giving psychological as well as the vocational training for them. Then only they can accept the government schemes and they will join in the mainstream life. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor C. Subramanian, sir, for your lecture. And sir has highlighted the practical difficulties of dealing with them at the society. So transgenders, what kind of feeling we have? So as a normal human being, how do we treat them? So in a house, if we rent our house, if they approach us to be a tenant, shall we employ them as in our company when we are an owner of a company? So these are all the things, whether we are afraid of them or we are not in a position to treat them equally. These are the two big questions. There is a gap between the normal human beings and the transgenders. On the one hand, whether we have afraid of them or whether we are not in a position to treat them. So much of things are there with the transgenders, and there are two sessions. There are two resource persons have delivered the lecture, and I request the participants, it is the time, so that you can get clarification from the resource persons.